What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, LESKUZZY, and that's Nique 5. And we welcome you to One of Your Head podcast, season 3, episode. I'm even confused what episode we at. So I need to go check.
Episode
Episode a
a
lot,
lot
man.
out of little.
Hold on. You know what? Let's check what episode we at. You know, some of you are gonna say, "How don't you know what episode you guys are on?" Because we've been doing this for 3 years. That's why it's season 3, and we've been, so we are on episode. Let's see, episode 26. This is episode 26. Uh, well, season 3, episode 26. That means
Mm,
we've been doing this for 26 weeks straight. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm vibing. How you doing?
Hi, doing great. Before we start, we want to say happy Juneteenth to everybody who celebrate Juneteenth. Uh, the only reason why I like this holiday is that I'm off work. That's the reason why I care. But and hey, celebrating my peoples, man. But yeah, to everybody who celebrate Juneteenth, happy Juneteenth. We got a lot to dive into. Uh, this week we're gonna be talking about boxing, the NBA Finals. We want to be also talking about the Kai and Northwest situation, and I wanted to talk about Bad Boys for Bad Boys. I think they're all ride or die, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so where you want to start with, man? You want to start
Um,
with you know what? Let's start with Bad Boys.
yeah, you can start with that. You can start with that. I didn't watch it, so
All right. You want the spoilers or you cool?
you might as well just spoil the movie, bro. This is the fourth movie with these two niggas doing this.
Are you not gonna watch it?
Probably not. Probably not.
Unless it comes on a streaming platform, you're not gonna watch it either.
I mean, right now, Inside Out 2 is
Hmm.
what I would go to the theaters and see. Might see that. I don't know if I'll make it. If it comes
I
up on streaming platforms though, like Netflix or something, I might
mm,
watch it.
all right. So I went to watch Bad Boys. I think I already told you I went to watch Bad Boys on the opening weekend. Uh, in my opinion, this is the second best Bad Boys movie out of the whole franchise. The
Okay.
only rival is Bad Boys 2. This one had the old it had more funny comedy scenes and comedy moments from start to finish. Uh, I don't remember if Reggie was in the last Bad Boys, but Reggie, if y'all remember Reggie from Bad Boys 2, we got introduced. He was like what 15. He's in this Bad Boys, and if you have seen the movie, if Tech like Reggie has the coolest scene. He is the star of the show. He had like a what I want to say 30 seconds a minute scene stole the whole movie. Uh but the movie starts off. If you watch every Bad Boys, you already know most of the time is the the last two. They start off going to a store or Martin goes to the store, you know, and he's going for one thing, then he ends up buying a whole lot of stuff, especially the Skittles, right? This time they were going to Will Smith's character's wedding. Will Smith's character just got married to his physical therapist after he got shot in the last video movie. I didn't even know how they didn't even introduce the physical therapist beforehand. We just saw her just getting married to Mark Lowry.
Do you all remember The third movie.
I don't remember. I don't remember. No, I remember the third movie, but I don't remember meeting the character that Will Smith got married to.
Mm.
I don't think she was in the movie.
I
She
didn't watch
somehow
the third movie either, so
so somehow she got introduced into the movie. I want to say she got introduced in the four, and somehow they're getting married. They didn't give us as the only thing that they gave us is that they met through his physical therapy, and since then he fell in love. Blah 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 blah. Really, they didn't give us much more out of that. Uh, so they're going to a wedding. Martin goes into the store. He's supposed to get ginger ale because he said because Will was driving too fast, he was about to vomit. He buys a lot of stuff. Then Will Smith, while Martin's in the store somehow is getting robbed. Martin is trying to tell the robber, man, if you don't let me leave and you can do your job, because if you keep on going, in about 15 seconds, both of our lives is going to be in danger, right? Somebody's waiting on me. And exactly in 50 seconds, Will Smith comes in. And the funny part, Will Smith didn't even care about the robbery. He cared about if, like, he's like, the first thing Will Smith is like, mm. And Martin's like, oh, and Will, I already told the man I had to go. He's like, mm. He's like, is that Skittles I see on the counter?
I
He's like,
seen
man,
that. This clip is hilarious. Yeah, I
he's
seen
like,
this clip.
He's like, is that Skittles I see on the counter? He's like, no, 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 no. He's like, man, uh, the man was taking too long with the ginger ale. And the man is like, nah, nah. He grabbed that. The man is snitching on Martin, right? So he's like, so he's snitching on Martin. So Martin, then Will tells Martin, go in the car. Then the guy tries to shoot Martin, and the somehow Martin gets the gun while Will Smith is shooting. So they shot the robber and they left, and they said call 911. And the store owner is like, you are 911. What is that? Why you say call the cops and you are the cops? Man, deal with this. And then leave. Martin goes to the wedding. So I'm giving you the opening scene. Then we're gonna get into the reason why I believe it. Like Martin goes into the opening scene, like they go to the wedding. Martin gets a stroke or a heart attack. I don't know. Some he gets a health condition, right? He gets out when he gets out of the when he's fine. He believes that he can't die. Martin
Mm.
believes he can't die, so he gets up, goes on the rooftop, literally on the edge of the roof, and he's just like, "Yay!" Like breathing air, but he's literally on the edge. Will Smith is like, "Yo, bro, I think you need to step back a little bit." He's like, I know I can't die. I've seen the future." I'm like, Will Smith is like, yes, you can die, cool. But can you please? He's like, I don't want to test that theory right now. You just got off your health condition. Can you step a little bit? Even the nurse comes in. The nurse is like, is there anything okay? Will Smith is like, yeah, he's fine. I got it. The nurse is like, oh, you got it, cool. So Will Smith finally convinces Martin to get off the ledge of the roof, right? Um, they go to his house. That's when we see Reggie, I think, for the first time since the last movie, or Bad Boys 2. I don't remember him in Bad Boys 3, but I think he was, or something like that. Yeah, he was in Bad Boys 3, but he was in his military uniform. It was just for his, like a cameo. He didn't say much. So he's on the couch eating Martin snacks. And Martin's like, yo, Reggie, where my snacks? And Reggie's like, I don't know. He goes through the cabinets and somehow his whole family, well, his wife. One thing I hate about the movie, they switched Martin's wife. the lady who has been acting as Martin wife for the franchise somehow got switched, and there's
Mm-hmm.
another lady. That's the only thing I kind of hated about it. But so new lady who's acting Martin wife says, yeah, your doctor said you gotta change your diet. We are now vegans, and she's like, he's like, no. Then he looks at Will. Will was like, nah, yeah, you are vegan. And he's like, Will Smith and his wife are like kind of intertwined. So Martin tries to convince Will he's gonna pay him $1,000 for him to go get Skittles. Will's like, no. He's like 2,000. Will's like, okay, yeah, I know what. I'm out. I'm leaving. Right? That's what he does. Will goes out. He's like, I'm leaving. Y'all can do this. And Martin is kind of argue with Reggie for a little bit. He's like, you need to go deploy. He's like, I think you need to go deploy because he's eating most of the snacks. And he was playing Call of Duty on the couch. That's all he was doing most of the time. So so now they go, all right, they go. So the movie goes. Technically, the movie is that their former captain is getting framed of being this bad cop, embezzling money, helping the drug dealers, right? The cartels and everything, right? So the whole movie is the plot is that they're trying. Will and Martin are trying to clean their captain's name because everyone has turned on him, saying that he was this bad type of cop, right? So they go and they realize they're like, oh yeah, yeah, blah blah blah. The captain was bad cop, but a dirty cop and everything. So Will and Martin was like, no. Will was like, okay, since y'all acting like y'all stupid, so he looks at the guy who's running for mayor, and he's like, both of you, and now the guy and the lady who's now in charge of the police force or the unit that Will Smith was part of. He's like, both of y'all don't have this job without the captain, and y'all turning your backs on him. You know what? Cool. Then the captain's daughter comes and say, give me a chance to clean my dad's name, right? But she's also on a whole vengeance on Will's son. Now, in the third movie, Will has a son who's like what old that he get that he. So Will was in he was in an undercover job way in with the cartels. He had an affair with the wife of the cartels. She had a son, and that son ended up being the one who killed the captain. At the same time, it's also Will Smith's son, right?
Hmm.
So she has a vengeance, right? She wants to kill the son. Will's like, okay, I really. Will's like, hey, trust me, I'm gonna clean your dad's name. She's like, I don't want to hear it. He's like, the first chance I see your son, I'm killing him. Will's like, okay, cool. All right, they go to meet with the son. The son tells them, well, while they're going, the son is also in. The son is he's a badass. He's in the prison because he told Will Smith that no, technically the killing of the captain was not part of the plan. Right? He's like he's like we had a list or a hit list that was already put out by my mom, but the captain was not on the hit list. It was you and everyone else who got killed, but the captain we were was actually added later. Like somebody paid us to add the captain on the hit list. He was not part of the initial hit list. So they found out this information, right? They found out the information. I guess the person who's pulling the strings, who paid for the captain's name to be on the hit list, is finds out that the no no the son talked to Will. So now, come to find out, the captain was doing an internal investigation in the department without anybody knowing because he believes somebody was working with the cartels in the department, in the government, in the police department. So he's like, I did this. He's like, if you're watching this, that means I'm dead. Then he's like, fuck, I'm dead. He goes through the spiral that he finally is dead. Then he tells them he left the insurance policy to where they can find out what everything that he was working on. But they had to go through Ricky Smiles, the comedian, former basketball player, who's now an actor, who's been in Bad Boys previously. He now owns a club. And when Will and Manning goes to Ricky Smiles' character, he doesn't want to tell them clear cut what the message is, but he's telling them look up. And Will Martin, because they don't believe into smarts, they're not listening to what he's saying. He gets shot by the bad guys, right? Then Will Martin finally gets the clue what Rick was telling them all this time, right? They're saying that they found the clue. It's in the QR code. They tell one of the new members of the unit that they work with to do it on the low. Don't tell nobody at the station. Don't tell nobody. Don't say anything about the QR code. Just keep it in like internal. So Will goes to tell the captain, or I don't want to say she's the captain. I don't know what she is, about that the former captain was framed. Da 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 da. This what happened. He was actually paid to be on the hit list. He was not initial on the initial hit list. So they said we know this, and we know who actually can prove that there's somebody else controlling this. So can we go talk to him? Can we extradite my son, come to Miami, where the movie is based in, to do that? But I don't now. This is the crazy part. This is where the whole craziness happens, right? So they get the son into the U.S. Marshal Air Force, like when you watch movies or thing when you're extraditing a prisoner, they put them in a cage in this whole Air Force type of cargo plane.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow the bad guys infiltrated the plane, and they take off and they force the pilot to say, Will, Martin's character and Will Smith's character force themselves in, and they're taking over the plane, trying to technically uh make his son escape. So the plane crashes. Will Smith and Martin. I don't call them by their character name, but I forgot. I know Martin's. So
Mike Lowry and what was the
yeah,
other?
that's why I'm looking it up,
So,
right? So Mike Larry and uh sorry, where's my it's Mike Larry. I'm looking for Martin Lawrence. Uh, hold on. Yeah. So right there talking about it, right? He's like, oh yeah, this, that, and that. Oh yeah, Marcus. Yeah, Mike Larry and Marcus Barnett, right? So Marcus and they're like Marcus Barnett and Mike Larry have taken over the thing. Da 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 da. Right. So they are saying all this, and come to find out, right? They're now fugitives. Mike Larry and Martin are now and Marcus are now fugitives with his son Armando. And guess who's the lead in who's hunting them? Their captain's, you know, their captain's daughter is hunting them. And while he's doing that, Mike Larry, they're trying to get back to Miami. They finally get to Miami, but when they get to Miami, the bad guys have put out a hit on Mike Larry, Armando, and Marcus. Right? There's like I think $5 million on their heads, each on their heads. They go to Tiffany Haddish's character. Tiffany Haddish is now in the movie. We get into this. She's like, she owns like a strip club. She gets there, right? Uh, they get this. They're trying to explain everything, what's going on, and da 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 da. And he tells, she's like, oh yeah, hold on. When they're trying to leave, that's when she pulls the gun, saying, "You think it's like there's money on your heads?" Then Jonah Lucas' character comes in. She calls Jonah Lucas. Somehow Jonah Lucas in the well, I know why Jonah Lucas is friends with Will Smith. So Jonah Lucas' character is introduced, and he's like, "Yeah, we the 5 million is ours, right?" They take McLaren and everything. They put them in the truck. While they're escaping, DJ Khaled's character comes back into the picture. If y'all watch Bad Boys, I think one or two, DJ Khaled was in it as like a butcher or something. Now he's a full-on gang leader. He's like, yeah, Mark. He's like, you, Mike, Larry, and Marcus. Y'all think y'all forgot me? And Mark, you see Will Smith's character. He's like, man. He's like, y'all know this fool. And his son said, y'all know. He's like, yeah, we do. He's like, you da da da. So they drive off, and they finally put everything together. That's where the when I say Reg was the infinite, you know, stole the show. So what they are doing that the bad guys has sent people to both Mike Larry's house and Mike's house, and they're trying to get one hostage. And in exchange, when they get one hostage, they gotta turn in Armando for the hostage. So at Mike Larry's house, it's only his wife. Marcus has his whole family at his house. So they found out that, oh, there are people, you know, coming to their house. So Martin's calling his wife. His wife doesn't answer. So he calls Reggie. He's like, yo, he calls Reggie. He's like, "Grr." Reggie picks up. He's like, yo, Reggie, get the family at the house. The people coming in. Reggie's like, and me when Reggie realized that he's like, yeah. The Martin's like, yeah, there's no time to get the mask. They're already here. Right? He's like, they're already here. So Reggie gets all the family into like he gets his wife, that's Martin's daughter, and Martin's character's wife inside the thing, inside the house, in the like in not inside the house, but inside the closet. And he gets out and he starts fighting the hit team. Like he starts going against the whole hit team. Like his whole military training that he was in the military came out. He kills 15 people all by himself. And this looks like this looked like Call of Duty because he was going crazy. Right? He was going bananas. Then Will Smith is trying to get hold of his wife to tell her to get out the house. She while the phone she comes, I guess she was in the bathroom or somewhere. She comes out, she sees the phone ringing, but she didn't pick up the phone because there was a knock at the door, and it's um their captain's granddaughter, like the lady who's still hunting Will Smith and them. Her daughter went to Martin's house telling her about that her mom is only obsessed is with Armando, not focused on saving them. So they are talking about that. Then she finally picks up the phone, and she picks up the phone. Martin's like, "You gotta leave." The people at the house. She was too late. They're already in the house, and they captured them. And the bad guys called them. What they did that Martin was already told the new captain or whatever she is, yeah, the new captain about you know about the things that like yeah, this is what happened. This is what we found out. You know, there's somebody in the department who's sending information. We found out the name of the person who's pulling those strings. So meet me down here. So she's like, okay, cool. She tells the guy who's running for mayor about the information, right? That she's doing. This guy is working with the bad guys. He's the lick. He's the one who was leaking information, right? So he was a district attorney. Now he's the leak. So he's telling the bad guys everything that Will Smith has uncovered. So he tells the bad guy calls, tells them that he knows that they already thing. They already know about that he uncovered then his name. Uncovered everything. So there's no need to hide. All he needs bring Armando, then his wife and his goddaughter can believe that's So Martin, while Will Smith is on the phone with the bad guy, Will Smith clicks to him and he tells Martin, he's like, yo, he knew or he how it's like something's weird. He's like, how does he know that we already identified his name? And Martin's like, who did we tell? They say we only told one person. So they put when they say they told one person, then it clicked to both of them. They're like, so she told the guy who's running for mayor. So it clicked for both of them that the guy who's running for mayor is the leak. He's the dirty cop, the dirty person in the department, right? So they called back. they called back they called back the new captain. They tell her, yo, your boyfriend that who you not be sleeping with, he's actually the bad guy. So she acts cool. She's like, oh yeah. She acts like she's leaving. She's about to go. But she's like acting cool, but she's also looking at him like she does. You know how in every movie when you find out somebody they do that look, right? They get into elevator. This guy is still texting, right? So she's like, "Who you texting?" She's like, "I'm texting somebody at work." Blah 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 blah. She snatched the phone. They start fighting. While they start fighting, Will Smith and Martin had already told the rest of the team to go because she might need a rescue. And then when she gets there, and me on the elevator door when he's about to kill her by choking her out. The team grabs it, gets there already ready to kill him. They're like, nah, don't. The ladies are now, don't kill him. We gonna need him for something later. So they get right. So they get in the thing. They set up a plan. What they set up the plan, she goes tuck back to the bag now. The leak, the dirty cop, the dirty good guy. But why she was doing that, why he thinks that she's there trying to get the answers of why he did what he did. Take like she was just playing a game. She wanted his voice to copy his voice to trick the bad guys, right? So they copy his voice on the computer. They trick the bad guys, and they go. They now go to trying to exchange. So they're like, "Oh, I'm bringing a plane. We are flying out the town, out the country with the hostages." But he doesn't get that. So they go out. So Martin and everything. Now, big deal. Martin is fight. Martin Lord, not Martin. Will Smith's character, Mark Larry, is fighting panic attacks. Every time he's on a high speed chase or anything, somehow he gets a panic attack, and and Martin is trying to tell him all these things that he learned while he was in the coma and everything. He's like, yeah, you like me and you. This is not the first time. The last. He's telling him all these stories about crazy shit, right? So the plan was, and me when they see the bad guys, they gotta shoot them, right? But Mike Larry has a panic attack, so he's like, I don't ever shot. I don't ever shot. He has a panic attack, and the bad guys figure out that it was a trap. Then they go back. They try to fight off Mike. So Mike Larry is still having that little panic attack, and this is where most people think that they incorporate the Martin slapping him for the get back for Chris Rock because Martin Lawrence starts slapping Will Smith like 3-4 times. He's like, "Get it out of it, get it out of it," slapping him with like real slaps. So Martin snaps out. Will Smith snaps out of it. He goes back to the Matt Lowry, like the bad guy. The bad with the gun. Who's not scared of getting dying, but he's a badass with the when it comes to shooting. So they go through this. Then they finally find out that everything happens. Now the last scene, well, not the last scene, but the end of where they killed the bad guy is they're split off. Martin Lawrence and they're split off to find his wife, Will Smith's wife, because they rescued the daughter, but the bad guy took Will Smith's wife as hostage. So the Martin Lawrence somehow in his dream sees the same tree he saw in the dream. So he gets distracted. Then the bad guy catches him with the gun in his head. Will Smith catches up to Martin and says, and Will Smith is like, "Yo, how did you let him catch him?" He's like, "Man, he stuck up on me." He's like, "Yeah, yeah." So the bad guy gives Will Smith an ultimatum. He's like, "You gotta choose one. One of them gotta die. You gotta choose." So Will Smith is like, slightly has a panic attack. Then he doesn't have it no more. He kind of snaps out of it. He's like, "Yeah, you know what? I don't have to choose. I don't have to choose who dies." He's like, "Because what you don't know, one is like what one of them can die." He's like, "Wise man told me one of them can die." This is where Martin is like, he's like, "You better not stop it. You better not." Martin realized he's talking about him. Will Smith is talking about him, so he shoots Martin just to get to the bad guy. He kills the bad guy. Martin, Martin always dramatic. He's like, "You shot me. You shot me." And Will Smith is like, "Man, I shot you in the vest. Stop bitching. Get up." So because his son saved the daughter, the son while he was trying to save the daughter, he fought like six guys, and they do the number on him, like cutting him up a couple times, blah blah blah. So he can't really move. Then when they real what they hear on the radio that the mom is on the island is looking for them, he runs there, and she's like, "Yeah, yeah." She finally gets over to the daughter. She's like, tells the daughter, "Move away. I'm about to kill him." The daughter's like, "No." She's like, "Move." They're like, "No." The daughter's like, "He saved me, mom. He saved me, mom." She doesn't want to listen until I think it was until like 4 or 5 times she's pleading with her mom, saying, "He saved me. Don't kill him. He saved me." Then Will Smith comes in. He's like, "Yeah, what about blah blah blah?" They try. Then she changed her mind. She's like, "You gotta leave before I change my mind." Will Smith puts his son on the boat. He's like, "Go deep to the south, don't come back." Blah blah. Then when the last scene, if I think most people saw the scene where man Will Smith and them, they're doing barbecue, and and they're doing the barbecue, and Reggie comes with the chicken, a pan of chicken, and he's like, "Oh, can I permission to put my chicken on the grill?" Will Smith looked at them and just laughed at him. They're like, "Man, go away, go somewhere with that chicken." And they turn back to the grill, and they're still arguing who's gonna be grilling. And while they're still arguing about that, what happens is Will Smith is like, he's still standing there, and Martin looks back. He's like, "Yeah, he's still saying." He's like, "That's weird." He's like, so Will Smith is like, "Man, you gotta handle this." He's like, "Are you gonna handle this?" He's like, "I'm gonna handle it." He's like, "How you gonna handle it?" He's like, "Man, I'm gonna let." He's like, "Man," he's like, "Man, he killed 15 people, man, by himself." So- He's like, "So that means he can." He's like, "Man, yeah, I'm not gonna handle. I'm gonna let that man grill his damn chicken." So he's like, "I'm gonna let him grill his damn chicken." So Martin's like, Will Smith is like, he looks back. He's like, "Yeah, you did kill 15 people." He's like, "Yeah." They're like, "Okay, Reggie, the grill is all yours. I'm gonna make the mine is like, I'm gonna make the potato salad." He's like, "I'm gonna make the table." Will Smith, "I'm gonna make the potato salad." "Yeah, the grill is not yours," and they leave. And that's technically me personally. I believe this is the second best because one, the comedy was there. The funny moments in there where Will Smith is just being real funny himself. But Martin took out the funnier stuff. The cameo was cool. Do I believe there's going? I want another Bad Boys, maybe, but this time I don't want Will Smith and Martin Lawrence as the main characters. I would rather have Reggie and Armando as the new Bad Boys because of how they do it. Then the movie out of I can rank it, mm, I'll give it a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Okay,
Good
that's a good
movie,
score.
a good movie. You're gonna laugh. Good actions. Nothing that you can't believe would happen in real life. Uh, uh I think from what I'm hearing, this was supposed to be the end for Martin and Marcus characters. They ended on a good note. I don't know if they're gonna make another Bad Boys. As I mentioned, if I then make another Bad Boys, I'd rather have Reggie as and Armando, Will Smith's son in the movie, and Martin Lawrence's son-in-law in the movie as the new Bad Boys. But other than that, it's a good movie. Uh, now and now we now let's talk about it. You know what? We're gonna before we get to boxing, we're gonna talk about WWE real quick. Everyone, y'all know I've this year I think I've been talking about WWE a lot. And if you kind of on Instagram, most wrestlers are not wrestlers, most better rappers are now into WWE. Arguably
Yeah, it's a good amount. It's a good amount.
the biggest the better rapper who's now into WWE is Tay Rock. Tay Rock talks about WWE. I think he's now a big wrestling fan, right? So this we're gonna talk about this, right? So this weekend there was Clash of the Castle. It's like this event that they do some near like normally it's based. They're trying to do like in the countries like well not UK but countries surrounding the UK like
No,
Scotland. Uh, they did it last year in Cardiff, but mainly is more of like trying to promote people from. They're promoting people from is where that they're celebrating some superstars who are not from the United States. Mainly, mainly the superstar that they're celebrating is Drew McIntyre. To be honest, they're doing a bad job celebrating Drew McIntyre because the last two Clash of the Castle, he lost, and somehow is he's supposed to be the main face of this whole pay per view, and he's losing on the pay per view created for him. That's the funny part, but it's not near. So this year they did the whole thing. They had Cody versus AJ Styles in a I Quit match. Cody wins, and to be honest, I really didn't pay attention to that match. I only remember Cody whooping on AJ so bad that he said I quit, and Cody just went crazy, like he just went unhinged. Then at the end, the fake bloodline. I want to say this: anyone who thinks solos, because I'm gonna say this right now, we have a fake bloodline in here. Not Roman Reigns, not the Usos. That's the real bloodline. There's thugs who are acting as the bloodline, that they're fake bloodline, right? So they come
not
in,
Usos.
they're trying to jump Cody. They're thugs. I'm with Kevin Owens. That's not the bloodline. That's thugs. They're fake bloodline. I can't wait until Roman Reigns comes back to control this thugs. They're thugs, right? Then that's how we presenting it on the TV. That's how they even presenting on TV. Most wrestlers are refusing to call them the bloodline because they believe that's not the bloodline. And technically speaking, they're not the bloodline because the two people on there are not related to none of them. They're not related to anybody in the bloodline. They're just associated with people around the bloodline, but they're never related to them, right? So what they're doing, right? They attack Cody. Then Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, who are having this big storyline with the fake bloodline, come in, attack the bloodline because Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, mainly Kevin Owens, doesn't want to call them the bloodline. He's the reason why I called them thugs because he called them the thugs, a group of thugs. He's like, I faced the bloodline. He's like, I faced Roman Reigns, Jay Uso, Jimmy Uso. That's the bloodline. This group that Soleil has created is not the bloodline. I'm not gonna call them the bloodline. They're fake. He called them thugs. Next match on that card was, I think, the women's tag team match. That's the only match I didn't like. I didn't like, not the match I didn't like. Yeah, it's the match I didn't like. I didn't like the outcome. I understand, but I also understand why the outcome was what it was at the same time. But I didn't like it because they made the team from Scotland win the tag team champions from Bianca Belair and Jay Cahill, two black females lose the tag team champions. But I understand why they lost. At the same time, I didn't like who won because the team that just won really hasn't been on TV. They have not had, the only thing, the first time we got introduced them is that when they attacked the tag team championship match, and they demanded to be. It's like, you are having Castle the Castle in Scotland, and we are not on the card. That's the only reason why we are not, that we knew that they were a team, but we didn't. Nobody cares about them, right? So they are there, and I believe they're going to be transitional champions for like I want to say a month. They're gonna lose the belts, but they won, and I believe the reason why they won is because the other two people on the card who are from Scotland were gonna lose because they had, Drew McIntyre and Papa Nivens. They lost. The reason why Drew lost, to be honest. Oh, before finish my story, if y'all want to see me, I'm gonna. I started a Kick channel on Kick. I'm gonna be live streaming on Kick from, I want to say, from now on. Yeah. So I'm starting my streaming journey. So you follow me on Kick at LESKUZZY. That's where you have, like, my name. Follow me on Kick because I did a live reaction to both the WWE pay per view and the boxing pay per view. Y'all can see those two streams down there on my Kick. I'm gonna put it. I think I'm gonna put the link in the description, right? So when that happened, Pepper Nivens lost. At what other match? I don't. I think there was another match, but I'm not. I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting another match. But the Drew McIntyre lost. And the crazy part, I quoted before the match. I said Drew McIntyre might. Is like, I said CM Punk is gonna get involved in the match, but I didn't know how he's gonna get involved in the match. But I said CM Punk is gonna get involved in the match, and I didn't know how. Then when the spot where CM Punk was gonna get involved happened, I was like, oh yeah, CM Punk is getting involved because Drew, they did a move where the ref jumped out the ring, kind of hitting himself. Then when the ref was trying to get back in the ring, he got knocked out again. So Drew does his finisher, the Claymore from the ropes, like a super, he kind of, I'll say a super finisher, where he did a rebound from the ropes and hit this finisher, and he calls in for the ref, right? I'm like, oh, when you see that, when that happens, when a superstar does his finisher and he covers a superstar without the ref, you know that they're gonna lose, but something crazy gonna happen, right? So at first I was like, oh, maybe the Judgment Day is gonna get involved, but the Judgment Day didn't get involved. So I was like, okay, what's next? Then I was like, oh, CM Punk. CM Punk comes in as a supposedly running down as the ref. He slides in the ring, counts to two, and stops. He didn't count to three. He had time to count to three, but he didn't count to three. He's like, one, two, and he starts laughing. He starts laughing. Drew McIntyre gets up, realizes CM Punk. He tries to choke CM Punk. CM Punk kicks him in the private parts. When he kicks him in the private parts, another ref comes in. The actual ref comes in, and Drew McIntyre gets hit. Damian Prince hits his choke slam. Well, his character is kind of revamping the Undertaker. Like they're trying to revamp how the Undertaker does it. So he does his choke slam, he wins, and he goes off. But that's not why I'm talking about WWE. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, we got crazy shit happen on WWE Raw. Uncle Howdy is here. The Y6 arrived, and I'm gonna lie, that shit was crazy. The way they arrived, I kind of felt like I was in a horror movie. And if you know me, I don't like horror movies. Man, they arrived crazy. How they arrived was crazy. So they arrived near the end of the of Raw. Number one, funny thing, I believe it was on purpose because the main event of Raw was between Rey Mysterio, Jey Uso, and Finn Balor. Sign a fun fact or a fact: Jey Uso was given permission by Bray Wyatt's wife. Bray Wyatt was a wrestler who passed away, whose entrance had required flashlights from the crowd. So earlier this year, when Jey Uso was in France, he did his entrance, and the France crowd decided to switch on their flashlights, and WWE dimmed the lights and the fireflies. So Jey Uso was given permission to use the fireflies. Bray Wyatt called the lights from people's phones fireflies, right? So that's what happened. So Jey Uso was given was kind of adopted the fireflies. From some people say the fireflies chose Jey Uso, right? So Jey Uso uses now on his entrance. You have to switch on your flashlight because that's his entrance now requires that as the fireflies. So Jey Uso won the match. He's celebrating, and when he's celebrating his win for WWE, from for not his win on WWE but his match, he's in the crowd celebrating, and kind of on when his theme song goes, they dim the lights to where you can see people's flashlights, right? They
Mm.
dim the lights, people switch on their flashlights. So I'm like, okay, Jey Uso is dancing, and you kind of see the camera slowly move away from Jey Uso, just show a wide range of the whole stadium. And all of a sudden, his song cuts off, and everything goes black. I'm like, okay, cool. Then you see the smoke comes in. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, oh no. The finally, so number one, if you watch WWE for months, I think I want to say since the WrestleMania, or since, yeah, I think after WrestleMania, there's been, when you watch WWE during any show, they start having like static issues, like your TV is messing up, and there's a QR code, and every time you scan the QR code, it sends you to different websites. Right? I never scanned the QR code, but people have scanned the QR code, and they say they went to, one sent them to a therapist website, one sent them into a restaurant. It sent them different way. But
Mm.
everyone knew the QR code meant it was more about Bray Wyatt and his family, the Wyatt family, well, the Y6. And every week, most people who follow wrestling, I only follow WWE, so I don't follow much other wrestling companies or into, I'm not fully into the wrestling community, but I listen to people who are in. They say most of the wrestlers who are you used to be in the Wyatt family, who are working with independent companies, they told independent companies that they can't fulfill their commitments that they already had booked for months in advance because there's other bigger stuff happening. So you kind of saw it, like one of them was Eric Rowan, another one was Nikki Cross, and I think one was Loop. It was like news coming out saying that he's canceled. Some of them were canceling their shows, and people was like, oh, they're coming back to WWE as part of the Wyatt family, right?
Mm.
So, and the person, Uncle Howdy, is Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas technically is Bray Wyatt's actual brother in real life. And he's like Uncle Howdy. Nikki Cross, I think, is Bray Wyatt's. I want to say Bray Wyatt, actual sister, but I don't think so. I don't. I never knew that Nikki Cross. I want to believe that, but uh, y- no. So Nikki Cross is not related to Bray Wyatt in real life, but her character is crazy. She had like a crazy character. So she kind of her character from WWE for years kind of involved into that, into like the Wyatt family, right? So, and I think she's related to somebody near around the Wyatt family, if I'm not mistaken. So they came in, right? As they came in, the Wyatt family came in, right? Crazy thing. Their whole scene looked like a medicine. More superstars with somehow got killed. You kind of see Nikki Cross comes out like Sister Abigail, like a witch or like a zombie. I want to say a witch, like crawling, puts Bray Wyatt's lamp on the floor. Then the shot looks like, if you know haunted houses, like when you're going through haunted houses,
Mm.
right? Kind of looking like that and showing what's happening in the house, and like so like superstars getting killed. Some executive somehow got killed. Everyone, the only person we didn't see was Triple H and Adam Pierce, but everyone else you kind of saw them get killed. Then the last shot, it was there was Chad Gable. Then you see Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, and he starts walking. He's like standing there like this. He starts walking in like he looks at Chad Gable, who supposed got killed. He walks in. Then he looks at the one member of his family, the Wyatt family. He looks. He nods at him. He's following behind. He looks at another one. He follows behind. Then in the last one, he looks at him. Then he nods, follows behind, goes through the door, goes near the Sister Abigail slash Nikki Cross. They grab the lamp they're supposed to be six, but when you look at this, they're five. And I think that's on purpose. We don't know who's there's one member missing, and people think the last member is going to be Alexa Blitz, who for the last few years has been working close with Bray Wyatt in wrestling as Bray Wyatt's right like psychic, right? She was not introduced with the rest of the family, but she's supposed to be coming back part of this family. But there were five. So there were like five, and they were called the Y6. When you look at it, it looked like six, but then you read it, it says six, like you are sick with the sickness.
Mm.
Uncle Howdy grabs the thing. He looks at it. He's like, "We are here," and blows off. He blows off the lamp. So at the end of Raw, this is what happens. They interviews mainly they interview the person who just had the last match backstage. Jay Uso just had supposed to had the last match. So they're talking about him winning. Then ended it. He's like, "Oh yeah, how you feel? Your reaction to the Y6 coming back?" He's like, "Man, you saw the last." This is what Jay Uso said, and it was funny. He's like, "You saw the ending of Raw 2." He's like, "I don't want no smokes with them. Is all I know." He's like, if anything I can, they can have the Fireflies back because I don't want smoke with them. I don't want no problems with them." He's like, yes, I activated the Fireflies. I'm happy I did it. That's Bray Wyatt is always my boy. Bray Wyatt, shout out to Bray Wyatt, always my boy, will be my boy. Right? He didn't say rest in peace, Bray Wyatt, but he said shout out to Bray Wyatt, oh my boy. He's about his family's here. That means I gotta go, right? So he's trying. I think he was trying to say, "Hey, man, if they want to get back their, uh, their iconic entrance with the Fireflies, they can get it back. Some fans will say, "Hey man, you can't give away the Fireflies that easy because you were anointed. You got approval from Bray Wyatt's wife in real life. She approved you to use the Fireflies. So take like they're not gonna attack you. You are safe, right? But storyline, right?
Storyline.
The
Yes.
story, the
Story
storyline,
over everything.
yeah, the storyline is crazy, right? I like it. I don't know how this gonna end up, but if you watch, I go lie. I want to see how this gonna go crazy, right? But hey man, they got crazy. Sister Abigail is gonna be. I want to see what's gonna happen with this storyline with the YS6. I'm definitely interested. I want to see who's gonna be the first victim. I don't know who's exactly. People are suggesting it's gonna be Jay Uso because he uses fireflies in his entrance. Uh, Other think it's gonna be Cody Rhodes, right? We don't know as
After Cody just finished the
the
thing they started back with a whole nother story, I don't think it's gonna be Cody.
oh yeah, the thing with the bloodline that they started. Yeah, you might be right. I don't know exactly who they're gonna be their first victim, but some people suggest the Judgment Day who are going crazy right now. Right now, I go like WWE is cooking with like first of all the ones now since the Wyatt family. This is the hot topic, right? The hot storyline right now with the Wyatt family back, the Wyatt 6. Before that, the hottest storyline that they had was the Judgment Day, right? The
Hmm.
Judgment Day storyline that they had was Dominic going through a crazy transition because Rhea Ripley is not here. Rhea Ripley is injured. She's not on TV. She had injured, so she had to relinquish her title. And her storyline was with fucking what's her name? Fucking uh I don't know her name. I go I don't like it. Oh, Liv Morgan. Like Liv Morgan, her storyline is she's on a revenge tour. She told Real Ripley, "I'm gonna take everything that you loved away from you." So she took so her storyline is she took away the title. Now she's trying to take away Dominic away from Rhea Ripley, right? If you everyone who watches WWE, y'all know Dominic refers to Rhea Ripley as mommy. Well,
That's
I'm really
nasty work.
well, technically speaking, this started when Dominic kind of Dominic Mysterio, that's his real name, turned on Rey Mysterio and joins the Judgment Day, and he said Rhea Ripley is his mommy, and they're kind of dating, not dating, kind of weird. The relationship is weird. I thought that was his mom. At the same time, I'm thinking they're dating. From the beginning, I was confused. What's the relationship between Rhea Ripley and Dominic? But he calls Rhea Ripley mommy, right? So, so since Rhea Ripley is not there, Liv Morgan is doing all flirting with Dominic, doing crazy shit, giving him the key card to a hotel room, getting on his private parts, like grinding on it, like it's going weird. Even the Judgment Day are confused what's happening, right? So yes, then on Monday, uh there was more. Liv Morgan was wearing Dominic's Judgment Day vest that he would normally wears during his entrance, that he takes off after his entrance. Everyone in Judgment Day have like this something they wear during their entrance. Dominic wears like a winter vest, right? So she comes in first on TV wearing his vest. Everyone noticed that she's wearing the vest. The storyline, Dominic doesn't. He's not wearing the vest throughout the Judgment Day a little bit of a Judgment Day segment. People notice that. Then and near the end of the show, he's looking for his vest. He's like, "Yo, did you see my vest?" He's asking everyone. Then he sees his vest with Liv Morgan. he goes to leave. He's like, "Can I get my vest?" She's like, "You can take it off me." He's like, "Nah, just give it to me." She's like, "You can. I'm not giving it to you until you take it off." So she's like, "I can help you out." She zips it up, like, seducing him. That's the crazy thing. I'm like, yo, who let? I was like, the crazy part, y'all let Triple H and Shawn Michaels created, like, being controlling WWE. Y'all know these people are unhinged. They're gonna have crazy shit happening. We having literally a whole romancy, like, type of rom com type of storyline where there is somebody seducing another person, right? Leave
Going back
Morgan,
to his roots, bro.
yeah, Liv Morgan zips up halfway the jacket. Then Dominic is zipping out the rest of the jacket. Why he's zipping up? Damian Priest, who's part of the Judgment Day, who's supposed to be the leader of Judgment Day, sees this. He's on his phone. He's texting, and Dominic is just checking slow and slow. And Damian Priest gets up and looks at it. He sees what's happening. He's like, "Yo, Dom, what are you happening?" He said, "No, it's not what it looks like. I'm trying to get my jacket, my vest back." He's like, "Man, go to the clubhouse." He zips it off, you know, leave Morgan, takes it off real quick. He goes off. Damien Priest tries to talk to Liv. He's like, "Liv, for God's sake, leave the poor guy alone. He's not interested in you, right?" She's like, "I don't think so. He's interested in me." And she walks off. I'm like, okay, that storyline is only worst part of this, the funniest part, not the worst part, is y'all let freaking Pat McAfee get control of commentary of this. He's funny. Number one, he's funny. He's actually having fun with this storyline. But yeah, now let's talk about the NBA, man. I know the team that you didn't want to win won the NBA champion, man. How you feel?
The Mavs let me down. They let
Hmm.
Nas down. They let J. Cole down. They let everybody down. The whole culture, everybody. They let Ramadan down. They let everybody down, bro. I don't know where Kyrie was with his little brown poncho sneakers. I don't know where Luca was. Well, Luca was balling. Luca was hooping. This was the first series. We can't say nothing negative about Luca other than his turnovers. But obviously, he's gonna have a bunch of turnovers when he the only one on this team doing anything. Um, it was just sad. It was sad. It should have been 5 games, Mavs winning, but it's 5 games, the Celtics winning. I thought they was gonna actually come back when they won that one game. I thought they
Hmm.
was gonna come back and it was gonna go to Game 7, and I was gonna be very shocked that they let the Mavs come back and win. But I mean, I'm happy though. Drew got 2 championships without the Sixers. Shout out to Drew. We drafted him. We know what our good talent is. You know what I'm saying? We made good draft picks. We just
I'm gonna
made
lie.
terrible
That's not the,
decisions
that's
after
the
that.
only not that's not even the only one person who was with the Sixers who got a ring with the Celtics. We have a bench play.
Um,
There's a bench player who wears number 44. I don't think he played much during the series, but he was one of our top players one of our young top players last year from the bench. Jerry Springer, who was good last year.
Never
One,
heard of dude.
I forgot what. He went number 40 something for this. He was good. I liked him with the Sixers because he kind of was the backup to Tyrese Maxey and James Harden last year, who was actually a good addition. But
Yeah,
he
but we
won.
won a campaign.
Yeah, not a good piece, a good bench player too, but not last year. But I'm talking the year that when we had James
The
Harden.
year we had James Harden. Yeah.
Yeah,
So the year before,
yeah.
because James
So
Harden did all that shit at the beginning of the year.
yeah, so uh, he was part of the team. He was also on the G League team that our G League team that won the championship last year or last season. Uh, so he was a good piece. He was the G League MVP, if I'm not the MVP, the Finals MVP last season. So he was a good player who was actually good. Me
Yeah, the
personally,
Celtics did great though. They played great. They played
Played
great. You can't
great.
say they didn't. Can't say
Uh,
they didn't.
we're looking at the stats. Luca and look at 28 points. Uh, Kyrie didn't show up in the closeout game. He had 15.
He
He
didn't
showed
show
up.
up in none of them games. He
No, he
had a
did.
steady like 14, 15 every game.
Uh, he showed up in game three. He had
That's the
35.
one oh, that's not
He
even
had,
the one that they blew him out.
no, that's the one that they lost. But he had 35. Look at 27. The rest of the team didn't show up. PJ
And
Washington was the
that's
one.
that was the problem. I think the lights was too bright for their support
PJ
staff.
Washington was the only one who showed up most of the time. PJ White then the not Kyrie didn't show up most of the game. It was literally Luca and PJ Washington most of the time. And uh PJ Washington gave you he averaged the points that he averaged most of the time, 15, 17. Give you a cool 15. The game that they blew them out, Kyrie had 21 points. Uh Lucas 29. PJ Washington had 6 points. He played only 14 minutes. I think he was.
For
I don't
them to
know.
be, I think he got injured that game. Also,
Yeah,
Luca was doing this on an injury, by the way, and he was there, still their best player,
yeah.
still their
Then
best player.
PJ Washington closed out game. Played 34 minutes, 4 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Derek Jones had 10 points. Uh, Daniel Duffer had 6 points. Kyrie had 15. Look at 28 points. Lively had 2 points. Josh Green had 14 points. I think most of the people didn't show up. Like Tim
Yeah,
Hardaway Jr.
most people
Like
they
Tim
needed.
Hardaway Jr. had 0 points, played 9 minutes.
You know, I heard that he hasn't made a field goal since May.
Who? Hardaway
Tim,
Jr.
yeah, Tim Hardaway. He hasn't made a field goal since May. That's crazy. Since the
That's great.
playoffs started, basically.
Maybe he lost. He lost his time. I don't know. Uh, I don't like good games, but
Yeah, Celtics easily won. I didn't
yeah.
think they would. Porzingis actually mattered. I didn't think he would
All
either.
right, now let's talk about the some
I
bullshit
skipped the Suns
decisions that
completely.
teams do in the NBA, right? So the Pistons. I want to know, Pistons. I have a question. The stupid decisions y'all make. I want to know. That this is stupid, but I want to know. So the Pistons this morning decided to fire Monty Williams after one season, right? Well, the new president of basketball operation decided to fire Monty Williams after one season, right?
Well, Monty Williams wasn't going to get you much
Well,
done.
technically speaking, y'all gave him the worst team. What did y'all want to do? Y'all rebuilding.
What, yeah, what do you like?
What
I
do you
don't know.
want him to do? So I believe they should have kept him. He would have actually improved like how he did with OKC before he took a break from coaching, right? Like how he built like Russell Westbrook, James Harden. I think like he developed them. I believe you should have let him do that. But hey, that's not the reason why I'm saying that stupid decision. If you're gonna fire, if you were gonna fire Monty Williams, I believe you should have did it earlier so that you get coaching candidates, right?
They probably was getting their coaching candidates, but they can't do anything until free agency starts, though.
No,
Right?
no,
You
you
can't.
can
That's
do.
tampering if you do.
No, you can. Coaching candidates, you can hire a coach before free agents. The only thing you can do is talk to players
Oh,
who are in free agents. But they can do shit with the coaching candidates. You can talk to coaches. You can fire your coach after the season, the regular season, and start your
true.
interview process and get a coach within before the draft. My question is, how did you wanted to wait until the Celtics win the championship, then you fire your coach, then you're gonna start the interview process so late, where like almost every coach, big name coach, already got hired, right? Every big name assistant that was having a coaching opportunity already got hired. The only coach that haven't got hired is the Lakers coach. We Most people think that JJ Redick is gonna be the next Lakers coach. He just did his official interview this week, right?
I think it's gonna be JJ.
Because technically, number one, I think. Wait, there was somebody else who was announced, but hold on, I'm not. I can tell you.
I think all these leaks are fake until it comes to light, and I think JJ was
I know.
fake until just now.
All right. Uh, there are people, or not JJ. So JJ Redick, right? Hold on. So it was first of all, JJ Redick was what, what I was about to do. All right. So technically speaking, the the first team, the Lakers last week or 2 weeks ago, last week were already had their coach for the future kind of figured it out, right? They just needed to offer him money and the contract. That you then you will two-time NCAA coach, UConn offered him 6 years, $70 million. He turned it down, saying that he was going for a three-peat with UConn.
I
That
think his is fake though. I
no,
really think
actually,
his is fake. A college coach come to coach LeBron and the eight Anthony Davis. Like I just don't. I don't think they
actually,
looked at him. I don't think so.
actually thinking about it, the funny part, I actually thought about it because this came out after the coach talked about it. Well, the 10 down came after he went on the JJ Parks podcast, right? And talked to JJ Redick. And they were talking about, like, the crazy thing is how they were talking about is how Dan Hewley, when you look at it, I'm like, okay, there are sometimes the people I like to hear and think. For Dan Hewley, I believe Dan Hewley was a real coaching candidate because Woj said it. Woj was saying it. Number one, we're gonna talk about this. The Woj and Shams, war. Shams, I think since 2022, Shams has not been good at reporting shit. I'll be honest. Shams has been just trying to be the first one to get out the news without any actual facts, right? Because the same day when Woj came out and said, the Lakers are focusing on hiring Dan Hewley. Shams is like, oh, the Lakers are already zeroed in on JJ Redick. He's going to be the next coach. Just wait in a few days. And the Lakers, then people around the Lakers said, technically speaking, we haven't talked to JJ Redick. We haven't interviewed JJ Redick. JJ Redick we have not even asked for JJ Redick to be on the interview yet. Is that the few coaches that we have asked to be come to the interview, JJ Redick was not one of them, right?
Mm-hmm. And they're
Then,
hanging up on JJ already.
then JJ Redick, after Dan Hewley, when he went to LA for the contract situation, right? He flew to LA to finalize his deal. He turned down the 6 years, 70 million and he told the Lakers that his main reason was to get his third championship with UConn, right?
So you think they'll reoffer if he wins?
It depends. Other thing,
If
no,
like JJ or whoever they hire does bad?
yes, it depends. And the other thing is, I think the other reason why you really turn down the job is the uncertainty with LeBron because LeBron is he has a player option and people believe he's gonna opt out and become a free agent.
Whoever drafts Bronny. I think Bronny getting I'm telling you, Bronny getting drafted in that first round. They got picked. I think it's 18. I don't think any other team is going to take the chance on Bronny. They want somebody that can change the future of the team. So, and a
Well,
lot of these
second round,
teams really need
but
somebody.
because I looked, I was saying the Lakers were the top favorite until 2 days ago.
The Lakers don't need nobody except a coach.
Yeah,
So
the
if
Lakers were
LeBron
the
could just
top.
come back,
Yeah, the Lakers were the top favorite to get Bronny. We
It's not my
everyone's
favorite.
everyone was, everybody was kind of doing that, and they said, for this what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but Bronny had a great workout with the Lakers. But when he went to Miami and did a workout with Miami, the Miami fell in way in love with Bronny, and they project Bronny going to Miami for
Now
all.
I don't know about that one for Miami. I mean, they could like him, sure,
Yeah,
but I don't know about that fitting in because he's so fundamental. I think what makes Miami Miami is they're not fundamental at all, and they talk to each other crazy. And I
yeah.
think Bronny in that situation is not going to work.
Well,
He
technically
might
speaking,
need to get coddled a little bit, just a
I
little
go
bit.
lie. Me personally, I believe going to Miami is probably one. I would like. I think the reason why him being people liked him, if you Dan Yuli got draft, if Dan Yuli accepted the job with the LA, I believe the Lakers are gonna draft Bronny. Why? Because Dan Yuli, if you look at how Dan Yuli kind of coaches, it's bro. If you look at UConn plays, bro, it's crazy. I'm like, oh shit. I looked at his at like the. I didn't even look at the highlights. I look at the play calling that he was doing. I'm like, when they were like, oh, Daniel is gonna be the next Lakers. I'm like, god damn. We might. I was like, I like the Sixers going to the championship next year, but we might have to meet this, and this is gonna be difficult for Nick Nurse with the defense because his play calling is crazy. Right now, I'm like, okay, and since he turned it down, I'm like, who's gonna be the next coach? And people are saying JJ Redick because him with the interview with his podcast with LeBron James, talking about the X's and O's and why LeBron likes, why he doesn't like, and LeBron has been saying, if you look at, I watched like one episode. I haven't watched after that. I have never watched. I haven't watched following one episode, but I see clips when LeBron kind of talked about, I think I don't know which team lost in the playoffs, and LeBron was like, bro, I was like, when I was watching it, I thought about it. He's like, I thought about you, and I was like, I was thinking that this was something I want to talk about you on the podcast with, was how do you feel about, because LeBron has been adamant, if you're up three, you gotta foul, right? Foul up three, right? If you're up three, foul before they get a shot up, right? And then when they in by the ball, foul, right? That means you have a chance to win. Then I don't know what team lost. They were up by six and they lost the game on the playoffs. So he's like, I want. He asked, he asked JJ. He's like, how do you feel about fouling up six? Because he's like, if you foul them up six, that means they're gonna go shoot two free throws and it's still a two possession game, right?
Yeah.
He's like, it's still, a two possession game. How you feel? He's then JJ Redick is like, he's like, when I saw the game, I thought of it, and it's like I knew somebody had did it before. He's like, if you watch Joe Mazzulla, he does it when he's up six, he fouls. And that's where LeBron is like, man, the more and more I talk to you, the more and more I like this Joe Mazzulla guy talking about the Celtics coach, because I don't think LeBron liked him for a while. So that's what he talked about. So I don't know who's gonna be the coach, but I believe JJ Redick might be the next coach. I believe he's gonna be the next coach. I don't know yet, but
What if LeBron retires and then he becomes the next coach? Head coach, and then they draft Bronny.
I don't think I don't think LeBron is. I think LeBron has said it before. I don't think he's into coaching yet.
Yeah,
He's
I don't
not.
think LeBron wants to coach, bro. He don't want that.
He has said that he wants to own a team, but I don't think he said he doesn't want to coach. Uh, while we on sports, Jay Z performed at Tom Brady's I don't know, Jay-Z retirement, Jay-Z Patriots Hall of Fame. I don't know, something Hall of Fame for the Patriots.
Right.
And some people had issues with it, especially Antonio Brown. He said because Jay Z didn't perform it, none of the hip hop 50 last
Yeah, but he
year.
performed with
Um,
Tom Brady.
Brady.
He's also a billionaire
So I was like,
performing
okay,
for other people, but that is what he does. Like he's a literal rapper. So I'm in between. Like
me
I
personally,
don't know. It sucks.
I was like, okay, I understand it. What I understand what Antonio Brown was trying to get at. At the same time, I'm like, if you, I was like, the big state, the main people that threw like hip hop stuff were the Grammys and Nas, right? I was like,
And
then I
then
was like,
he would have to step on Nas's stage. You know he ain't gonna do it for the Grammys.
yeah. I was like,
So you had to step on
then
Nas
not.
stage.
Then Nas did the whole Yankee thing with Lil Wayne as a headline. I'm like, when you look at it, ah, not really. There were none of the people that threw like the big hip hop stuff were people that I believe Jay Z is cool with. He was like, we all know Jay Z doesn't like the Grammys. He said it this year, even when he got honored at the Grammys. He told the Grammys off, and I was like,
He don't like
then
the Grammys, and then you got Nas is the
us.
only person that did anything for Hip Hop 50.
Yeah, then the BT really didn't do much. I was like, BT, I was like, first of all, if you look at it, and then I look at it, I'm like, when I look at it, to be honest, right? When I look at it, I'm like, I was like, maybe he's doing a favor for Chris. I was like, him and Tom Brady are kind of cool. They work together with Fanatics, right? He's cool with Robert Kraft. He is involved with the NFL as the lead person for the entertainment for the for the Super Bowl. He's the one who makes the decision who's performing in which Super Bowl. It made sense. I'm like, technically speaking, I'm like, what? I think he's play. I'm like, we are all talking about playing checkers. He's playing chess. I'm like, if you
Hmm.
look at it, he's playing chess because you look. There's no one black owner on the NFL team. Except now with Magic Johnson, he's now one of the few black owners on the NFL team. But we never had a black owner, right? Diddy was supposed to be a black owner for part of the people, but you know what happened with Diddy. Uh, so I'm like, he's trying to put the seeds in of like, okay, if the NFL sees that he's doing a good job with the Super Bowl and everything, and he gets Robert Kraft on his side soon enough he's gonna be an owner. He's gonna have other owners, following suit. Then whenever a team is available for him to buy, like how Tom Brady said he wants to own the Raiders, right? I believe the reason why he's doing that because when Tom Brady finally finalized the buy of the Raiders, he might get Jay Z to be one of the partners on the Raiders. So I'm like, okay, I see what he's doing. And Cameron said it much best. I think, technically speaking, Jay Z likes hip hop, but he never fell in love with it. He was not in love with hip hop because he liked what hip hop gave to him, but never fell in love with it. And I understand. Uh, but yeah. Now let's talk about boxing, man. Uh, this weekend we had Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. Then we had Sabril Matias versus Pero. Uh, everyone, we're gonna get the non-relevant boxing match out the way first. The Sabril lost, and I want to come up here and apologize. I put Sabril as the boogeyman at 140. I put him in the same sentence at Butanes because yeah, I remember last year I said he's the only boxer with 1Q on his record. Yeah, but now when I watch Sabril, I'm like, hey man, I'm stupid. I didn't see much. Oh, then I saw somebody kind of who knows more boxing than me kind of pointed it out that Sabril is just one dimensional, and I saw that get exposed on Saturday. If you watch, like I said, I have a kick now. You're gonna go. and go subscribe to my Kick or follow me on Kick, and y'all can see I start streaming every. I want to say every weekend. I'm going to be streaming every weekend from now on. Right. I did a reaction, a live reaction to both boxing matches, but mainly I was focused on the Tank fight while the Sabri was happening, and I was giving y'all insight that Sabri was losing. But Sabri's all he has was power. He does his boxing. He's not there. He doesn't box that well. He doesn't set up his punches that good. He walks through you, or he's literally trying to you. Technically, what he's trying to do is that he wants to get hit just to get to hit you, right? And
Mhm.
that was a bet. He doesn't do much other than that. He's just walking up at you to try to hit you, and sometimes he's getting hit. So when you fight people who know how to box very great, he's gonna have problems, and that's what happened. The person he was boxing was undefeated, who knows how to box, and beat him convincingly in his hometown. Beat Sabril in Puerto Rico, where he's supposed to be. This was his first match with Matchroom with Eddie Hearn, trying to get build his fans in Puerto Rico. Ended up being the other way around. He lost. Uh Now let's talk about the Tank fight. Uh I think I came up here last week, right? We did the podcast on a Saturday, and I said I didn't like how Martin looked on the face on the scale. Looked
You
like
thought he was
I
scared.
he would look like scared, but no,
You should be
mainly
scared to say it now. Let
uh
us be it.
he wasn't scared. I believe he can make 140. I believe not 140, 135. I believe he's gonna move up to 140. I don't think he can. I'm not saying he can't make 140, 135, but I think it's now difficult for him to make 135 when he trains and weight drain and he tries to drain, lose the weight to make 135. I don't think he can make that weight no more, because when he tried to drain his weight, he looked like a skinny motherfucker with no life in him, like he was sick. He needed help to sit down in the chair. He needed help to even get up to go on the scale. Kind of scared me, right? And you kind of see the difference between Tank. Tank came me when he went introduced Tank on the he went straight to Frank Martin, started talking shit, having conversation with Tank with a friend.
Uh oh.
Yeah,
It's start computer level. What happened?
we're having technical difficulties, but all right.
Oh. Oh.
Uh, so he's talking, Tank was talking, Tank. I did technically somebody posted shout out to academics. I don't know how he got the video of what Tank and Frank were saying during the press conference on Thursday behind the person in the host. Like I said, they were talking shit to each other throughout the press conference. And Tank was telling him that, bro, drink. He's like, here's some water. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot. You can't drink water because you're trying to lose that weight, ain't you? He was trying to saying that he's struggling to lose the one to get to 135. It's like drink, you can't drink water, you can't make weight, because if you drink water, you kind of putting up the water puts up water pounds, and you can't make the 135. And you're fighting for a title. That means you might, Tank is a business. Tank's things business. He will never let you fight above the weight limit, right? And I believe Martin wants to win the title than Ryan Garcia, who came 3 pounds over. So I don't think Ryan wanted to win the title, right? So Tank came out. Tank came out at 133.4, and Frank Martin came out at 134.4. Frank Manning talked a great game. He said, "Oh, if he acts up, he's gonna get knocked out. Cheng is gonna get knocked." He talked a great game, even on the face off. When the way he's like, "I'm a dog. I'm about to. If he acts up, I'm gonna knock him out. He's gonna get." He's like, "If y'all don't believe in my power, y'all gonna believe it." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Tank said, "Okay." Tank was like, he's like, I don't know how Tank knew he was gonna knock him out in the eighth, but technically Ryan Garcia said it first. Ryan said Tank by knockout by 8 in the eighth round, and when he said that, Ryan, Frank Mann and Ryan has been going back and forth. Ryan doesn't like no Frank doesn't like Ryan no more because Ryan and Frank Mann have the same coach. They train together. But at first he was I'm on Ryan. Ryan was on Frank's side. Then all of a sudden he switched on Tank. I'm like, man, let Ryan sell you a fight. You can't sell a fight. Ryan was kind of selling the fight for Frank Money because he was talking shit, right?
Mm.
I'm like, let Ryan sell the fight. He knows how to sell you a fight. And you kind of, I was like, then you saw on the face off when, on the press conference when Tank was talking shit to Frank Money, and Frank Money didn't respond very, and Tank was kind of doing the same antics that Ryan does, like talking shit like mediocre, mediocre. He's like, yeah, I watch his videos. He's like, he's not average. They asked him, is he average good? He's like, yeah, he mediocre, mediocre. Yeah, it's something like that, right? So the fact happens, and Tank literally walked Frank Martin down. He walked him down like Frank Martin kind of tied himself up. The funny part, people say, "Oh, Tank broke down Frank." Tank didn't break him down. Frank let literally Tank let Frank Martin tie himself up because Frank Martin was throwing combination. He still, I guess the game plan was stick and move. Be slick. Stick and move, get in, throw the jab, move away, throw. So he was sticking and moving, throwing combination, moving away, throwing combination, moving away. Tank was just walking him down. I think after the fourth round, that's when Tank was like, okay, I got you. I'm not see your game plan. And Tank start touching. No, so Tank, technically speaking, did break him down because Tank was focusing on the body. Tank was hitting the body from the first round and everything. He was focusing on the body. Fourth round, you kind of saw Martin started slowing down. He's no longer moving like he's like running, but he's not moving as fast as he was earlier. He's kind of being steady, sticking and moving a little bit. Fifth round comes. Tank starts letting a couple hands go, but he was not. Frank was throwing more punches than Tank. If you watch Tank's fight, Tank starts slow. He'll let you win like the first 3 rounds or the first 2 rounds. Then after that, you getting into the deep waters with Tank. Tank kind of downloads the data, then exploits with the data that he downloads. He sees what you bring into the table, your game plan. Then after that, he'll see what after that. So Frank comes in with the game plan. Sixth round, I want to say around the sixth round, that's where you kind of saw Frank Martin started literally kind of boxing like a normal human being, no longer sticking and moving like fast, like throwing jabs and moving away. He's like kind of moving a slow, slow. That's then seventh round. That's when Tank starts whooping his ass. Tank starts whooping his ass. Like from the sixth round on, Tank started letting his hands go. Tank is whooping his ass. I'm like literally watching this. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, Frank, you gotta go back to the moving because Tank is starting to move. You whooping your ass. Because I was like, oh yeah, Frank might be winning by 4 rounds to 2 because Tank really didn't start until the fourth round. So I was like, Frank won the first 3 rounds. Tank won the fourth round. I Frank winning the fifth round because he threw more and kind of throw like more convincing shot. The
Mm.
six rounds and on, man, Tank started whooping that boy ass. He starts
I keep
then,
seeing the comment that people were like, "Yo, his coach was telling him get off the ropes."
bro, bro. This man went to the ropes in the seventh round. I'm like, Frank, go away from the ropes. I'm like, but if you go away from the ropes, you're gonna get in the middle of the ring. And you might have an advantage if you're in the middle of the ring because you can't get trapped because Tank was trapping you. He was walking you down. Tank was walking him down. And every time he was going, like he was begging to the ropes, and Tank was flinching, like fainting, like kind of fake throwing fake punches. And you kind of saw Frank was like trying to catch Tank's punches. I'm like, Frank, what the fuck you doing? Then I remember, I'm like, oh yeah, Frank is not he doesn't throw punches. This is uncomfortable for him to throw the first punch. As I saw, Tank kind of made Frank throw the first punch throughout the first 3 rounds. So Tank want to go back to what he is, a counterpunch. But you can't counterpunch somebody who's more smart, who has more experience in the ring, in the limelight than you.
Mm-hmm.
right? And Tank's IQ, I believe, is up there. Like when he get, I think the seventh round, Tank started hitting him so bad, like he wobbled him, like he hurt Frank in the seventh round, and Frank kind of tied up Tank good. He survived seventh round. This eighth round, I'm like Frank, because Tank was like kind of flinching at him, like, yeah, and you see Frank kind of going back. I was like, oh shit. Then I remember on the press conference when Tank fake punched Frank. Frank flinched, but then somebody who knows boxing, he said when you do that, because most boxers kind of fake punch you to see what your reaction. That is also part of the data that they want to see what. So he's like when Tank kind of saw what Frank instances. When you kind of throw a punch, he goes straight back. When he's throwing his left, he goes straight back. And you kind of saw that worked out in the knockout. Because in the seventh one, Tank kind of flinched him into cornering him into the corner on the ropes in the corner. And he starts throwing his left hand. Tank Leo did this. Put his right hand on top of Frank and start throwing his left. I'm like, Frank, what are you doing? Frank, get away from the corner. Like, man, get away from the corner. I'm seeing then Frank kind of gets up a little bit. Tank kind of lets off his hand. Frank kind of gets up a little bit and Tank throws a hook uppercut combo. And the uppercut literally hit Frank. Because I mean when the uppercut lands, Frank was more defensive minded, right? He's more defensive. When the hook and uppercut come, when the hook came out from the right hand and the uppercut came from the left, it hit Frank and his hands dropped. I was like, oh, Frank is gone. I knew Frank was knocked out from the uppercut. Then the 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 cake, the icing on the cake, because he was gone from the uppercut. The uppercut kind of switched off his lights, like turned off his brain. But then the hook turned off his lights because then Emil when Tank noticed that he hurt him with the uppercut because Frank was up here, his hands was up here. The uppercut lands, he dropped his hands and he was gone, and he didn't see the hook, the left hook, the left overhand land. He didn't see it because he was gone, right? When the left hand landed on him, he was gone and he didn't see that. So the left hand hits on him. He goes straight down, hits his hand on the canvas. Tank already is celebrating like before even the ref finished counting, before even the ref singing that the fight is over. Tank is up here on the ropes like, yeah, I know, you know. Then Tank gets down, trying to, he's like, oh, maybe he got up. When Tank looks back, he sees the ref kind of indicating that the man he goes back up on the ropes, does the flip, and everyone wants to know what I have. Look, I have the flip. Wait, hold on. I have the Tank flip as my screensaver on my watch. Yeah,
There was something wrong with it, yo.
I have
I
it
think you got the flip as your screensaver. Like, what?
on my watch. Why do I have the flip as a screensaver? Because I
Yes.
wanted to remember. Because I was like, that's the first thing that Frank saw when he was his eyes
Oh
open.
my god.
He saw that flip. I go like it was a cool picture though. It
It
was a
was.
cool,
It was a solid backflip.
yeah,
He did it kind of easy.
because he does that a lot. That's his celebration. If you watch Tank fights after a knockout, he does a backflip. Even when he did the weigh-in, he did a backflip because the reporter asked him, "Is the backflip or is the backflip on point?" And he did a standing backflip. Uh, I think we're having technical difficulties again,
Yo,
but
what
yeah,
happened?
I don't know. We're having
I
technical
was
diff.
getting cooked
Yeah,
in the Twilight Zone.
yeah, but without yeah, I think without further ado, man, that's what we have on the boxing. The next big boxing match, I think, is is the Shakur Stevenson. Before we end this, I want to say this. I saw Devin Haney said he wants to fight Tank. Stay away from Tank. Stay the fuck away from Tank. Devin Haney, stay the
Devin Haney need to stay away from boxing.
Oh no, he just announced tonight, this morning, that he's going out. He's not coming back to boxing until 2 years from now. I don't know if it's true or not, but he said he's taking a break from boxing.
Yeah, that
Uh,
loss is getting to him, and also people are probably telling him about that car accident and how it affects. Because every time he has a fight, they always say that car accident really
oh,
affected him. Blah blah blah.
oh, and that's El Spence. El Spence is
Spence. Oh my bad.
Devin Haney that lost getting to him, but I think El Spence is coming back in October against Fandora. Fandora, but Tank none. Devin Haney is taking time away from boxing, and he also was pissed that his promoter Matchroom didn't put money on him because he's supposed to fight some fighter from Spain, Sando Martin or something like that, and there were like companies, promotional companies were putting money up, and none of the promotional companies except for ESPN and Top Rank put the money up for that fight. And he went on Twitter saying, Matchroom, bro, y'all didn't put the money up. What the fuck? And people said, your promoter already said he was not putting the money up. You didn't believe him. He said that last week, saying that who's gonna pay for that fight? Why is it the only fight? The only logic where people are gonna pay for the fight is if you pay Martin to step aside. And the promoter said he doesn't believe Martin wants to step aside. He wants the title shot, right? So is that so? And most people win in boxing, they say that's gonna be a boring fight. That's a snooze first. Both of them are not good. They don't do nothing entertaining. So I guess it's gonna be on tank on on Top Rank unless Devin Haney vacates the title. That's what his promoter believes that he's gonna do. He's gonna vacate and move up. I'm like, where is he moving up to? Because he's not coming to 147. Because them big dogs up there at 147 are gonna knock him out. It's not gonna be good for him. I'm like, I don't know what David Haney has to do now, but he got pissed off. Shakur Stevens said he wants to shock the world after the Tank fight. I like that fight. I do like the Shakur Stevenson fight against Tank, but that's not the next fight for Tank. I think it's already reported the next boxing fight for Tank is Tank versus Lomachenko. That's coming up next in November, and I like it. But I think Tank is gonna knock out Lomachenko to unify the division. Then I think Tank is gonna try to be undisputed. Other news: Tank and Floyd Mayweather are no longer in good talking terms. We already announced that they don't talk to each other no more, and it's evident because Tank is doing everything that Floyd didn't want him to do. Floyd didn't want Tank to fight Lomachenko. He's fighting Lomachenko. I believe he's going after he fights Lomachenko, he's gonna you try to be undisputed. One thing, uh, Floyd didn't want Tank to do be undisputed because he said, "Why are you paying 3% to all these companies?" Uh, so I think Tank is gonna be undisputed. Then he might move up, but I don't think he's gonna move up. He probably retire at 135. Uh, who else? What else is next? We know that Shakur Stevenson is fighting July 6th. Then after that, the following weekend, me and VINIQUE, we're gonna be in the building for Boots Ennis, man. The boy is about to go crazy. I talked to him last weekend. That man said, man, this is about to be a murder. He said he's ready to kill somebody. I don't know if it's true or not, but he said he's ready to hurt somebody. He
I
said
hope
he's
so.
he said he's on weight. Uh, so yeah. Uh, we'll see what happens. But without further ado, man, we want to say thank you guys. Uh, I'm about to go and start my workout for the week. For Yeah, I started working out, guys. I'm getting, back into the workout routine. So I'm about to go work out right now. Uh,
I'm about to get healthy.
yeah, and I'm also gonna try to figure out what to eat late right now too. So, uh, uh, so I want to say thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode. You have anything to say?
Nope. No, all set. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yeah. See you guys in the next episode. Peace.